Okay, guys, we are live, and I have an extra special show here tonight, live from New York City. It is Lolo from On the Stoop, and he's sitting on the stoop, and he's ready to rock and roll. Lolo in the house. How are you, bro?
Yes, I am. I'm very good, Dave. Glad to finally be on like an actual show with you. I know we talk back and forth. You've come on the happy hour once or twice.
Yeah, I was
But
singing on it once.
yeah. Those Irish people always turns into a sing song somehow.
Exactly. I think you go live at midnight on a Friday night, GMT, isn't it? UK time.
Yeah, midnight Friday nights. That's 7 p.m. our time. It's kind of a balance between our American audience and our, we have a big British following, so an Irish following. So we kind of keep them. All right, you're coming home from the pub, nothing's on.
Pissed.
Pissed. Perfect time to watch our show.
But as I always say, hit the like, hit the share, show us your love, give us a sub. And give Lolo a sub. And his link will be down in the description. On the Stoop will be there because it's a top class football channel, Premier League channel. He's an Arsenal fan. We're going to get into all that and all, everything. Let it loose. We're going to go 80s. We're going to go 90s style. It's live. Let's go, baby. Get the comments in as well. And keep them clean. Keep them clean and keep them real. Isn't that right, Lolo?
Or not. Just
or not.
Just
I love that backdrop, though. Look at that. Look at that backdrop. I mean, this is just ridiculous. In New York live. It's like the Grammys Awards or something,
Exactly, man. I'm cool with it. I'm just missing my beer, but it is a little cold, so I got my coffee, my On the Stoop mug.
I like that. The old merchandise and everything. Wow.
Yeah, man. Try to, if you're not big, pretend like you are. That's what I always say. So, like, pretend like you're famous.
I haven't done anything like that yet. I'm too embarrassed to ask anybody for money. Living in a world in recession at the end of the day. But So, Lolo, we're going to go back in time. We're going to do a little Back to the Future Michael J. Fox trick here. We're going to go back, and I want to ask you, basically, growing up, I presume you've grown up in New York as a kid. Arsenal, how did you become an Arsenal lunatic? Basically.
Well, I'm not actually from New York. I'm from all over, but my childhood was mostly spent in Texas. But I've lived all over. I've lived in New Orleans, Chicago, Philadelphia, South Carolina, Texas, all over. But I've been here for the past like 15 years or so, and really, in the U.S., it was nearly impossible to watch any football. We watched NFL. That was football.
Yeah.
So
watching American football, isn't it?
Yeah, really? Especially growing up in Texas, it's all about baseball and football. And I'm short and I don't like running that much. I don't like being hit that much. So football wasn't really great. Baseball was cool. But back then, like you couldn't watch we didn't have Premier League. You would maybe get like match of the day, or they would replay one match, and it was usually Manchester United. So it was hard to really get a following to really, like, we just didn't care. Not that we didn't even care. We didn't even know it was really going on the other side of the world. So for us, football, soccer was every 4 years, and it was the World Cup. So the World Cup was like, for us, it was the Super Bowl, but a month long. And all of a sudden you're seeing, so I grew up right on the border of Mexico. And so the Mexico jerseys are out, US a little bit, but and in the United States, nobody's American. Like we're all, you always say, oh, I'm Irish, I'm German, and for me, I'm Irish, Scottish, German, and Mexican. Like I'm super American in that, so my family designed the railroads, built the railroads, made the food for the guys who were building the railroads.
Isn't it? It's a melting pot, basically.
Exactly.
That's the history of the States. I mean, we all know, especially being Irish. I mean, there's a lot of Irish Americans, isn't there? So
exactly. So when the World Cup came out, all of a sudden you're wearing like, oh, why do we have a Germany flag? Oh, well, your grandpa's from Germany. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay. Well, why do we have, what's with this? Oh, well, so-and-so is from Ireland. And you're like, oh, so you realize where you're from through the World Cup. And so it was really like the Premier League. I mean, it wasn't the Premier League back then, but we didn't know much about it going on. And then with the advent of the internet, you're starting to see, oh, okay, this is going on. We can follow this a little bit more as I came into adulthood. And then really it wasn't until I met my brother-in-law. So my brother-in-law is named Lawler. He's from Dublin. He's from Baalbergen.
I was only there today.
Yeah.
I was only there today, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Or not. I don't know if you like it or not, but
it's okay.
So he moved over here, and I was like, oh, so you're going to start watching NFL, right? And he's like, no, you're going to start watching Premier League. And I was like, okay, well, I'll make you a New Orleans Saints fan. Who do you support? And he's like, I support Arsenal. And my wife at the time, or she's still my wife, but at the time she was like, I'm a Man United fan. You're not going to be an Arsenal fan. And I was like, well, I don't like being given an ultimatum like this. So I did some research into it, and I talked to him a lot. And now Lawler, he's from a household. He's the eldest of like 6 or 7 kids, and his dad is diehard Leeds United. So him being the eldest was like, no, Pa, nope. I'm going to be Arsenal. All of his uncles are Arsenal, hardcore Arsenals. So he got all of his younger brothers and sisters to become Arsenal fans. So he really taught me the backstory, the history, the fact that we're not named after a city. We're named after an actual place where people worked and then afterwards would go and play football. And that's how long we've been doing it. So it was, I liked the history. I liked the backstory. At the time we had Wenger. I liked everything about Wenger for a long time until I didn't anymore. But so to me, it was like, okay, I'm going to make this choice and I'm going to go. I didn't want to jump on the back of a team that was a big 6, a big 4 at the time, but Arsenal we weren't very good. We were in the middle. We were constantly top 4, but struggling to get top 4. Almost won the league.
Leicester. Let's be real. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we are. We are. Wow. And so I do have some family. It's the family that made me become an Arsenal supporter. So I do feel like it's in my blood a bit. And I felt like I went through some shit, and I'm still going through some shit supporting Arsenal. It's not like I jumped on when we were winning the league or anything, because we haven't. We've won FA Cups and stuff like the Community Shields and things like that, but still more than Tottenham. But
I know Tottenham are like the Everton. Tottenham are like the Everton to me. That's the type of thing you're talking about, isn't it?
Yep. Big up to Mr. Tom, one of the Stoop Crew members in the house. Love to see my Stoop Crew members.
Yeah, Mr. Tom in the house. How are you, bro? How are you? We've another person actually who's in Texas, Darren O'Connor, Daz, Liverpool Connection podcast. He's in Texas. How are you?
Oh,
Daz?
awesome, man.
Well.
All right.
A question for you, Lolo.
Oh, my favorite goal for Arsenal.
That's tough. That's a tough one.
It's not stylistically, but I mean, maybe stylistically, one of my favorite goals is that Mesut Ozil goal. I think it was in a Champions League or something where he sat down like 5 players and went and scored his goal. But I have to say my favorite goal will be one that I watched from my cell phone. And it was in 2017. It was October 19th, 2017. And I remember that because I'm sitting in the hospital with my wife who's having contractions and the FA Cup is on and Olivier Giroud scores a goal. And I'm like, yes. And the doctor's like, no, we need to go into surgery now. And I was like, but okay. Well, Giroud just scored, so everything's going to be okay with this. So I have that. I don't even remember who we were playing or what he did to get the goal. I just remember he scored, and I was like, okay, got to put the phone down. Not going to watch the rest of this match because my daughter's about to be born. So on the day my daughter was born, Olivier Giroud scored a goal in the FA Cup. So that one has to be.
Did you call your daughter Olivier Giroud? No.
No, as I said, my wife is a my wife is a Scum fan, Man United fan. So
Scum fan, I know what you mean. Yeah,
yeah, she's a Man United fan. So I think I bought one little onesie, an Arsenal onesie for my first daughter. She wore it once, and then somehow it got lost, and I've never seen it again. My wife's like, yeah, I can't find it. I can't find it. I don't know. I know she threw it away.
You're hitting it on the head there. And I think, obviously, all sports, I'm sure American football, basketball, baseball, the big sports in the States, I think sport generally, let's be real, sport as a historic, as a heritage, as everything, and me being a Liverpool fan, they have a lot of history and heritage in the city and everything else. But it's brilliant sport, isn't it? Because there's memories there. You know, you remember where you were when someone scored a Champions League winner or to win the league, like a Michael Thomas last minute goal against Liverpool at Anfield in '89. I remember where I bloody was. You know, those type of things. It's like this. Remember where you were when JFK was shot or landed on the moon. This type of thing for football. It's like it's probably like the Messi in the World Cup the other day when Messi.
Well, I tell you what,
where you were
Sunday during penalty kicks. We were at the bar. We were at Dram Shop doing our live show. And I remember penalty kicks started, and I took a second, and I looked around, and I was like, remember this, look around, remember the faces, remember everything, because we're going to be talking about this World Cup final forever. I'm going to be an old man saying, oh, you should have seen me. My daughters are there in the corner, couldn't care less about the match, but my wife is there. She's rooting for France. I'm rooting for Argentina. You know, Bloody Marys for 4 hours, 3 hours in the morning. And it was like one of these moments of your wedding day or something where they tell you, stop, look around, take a mental photo, and remember that moment. That's where I was on Sunday. It was like, remember this moment because it's more than football at this moment. It's
history. It's history in the making. History in the making. There was another thing there. I see Mr. Toms is putting one up here. What's your favorite Liverpool goal? Oh my God. It's so hard to say. Well, it's like asking you what's your favorite music or song or what's your favorite movie. It is hard. There is a few, obviously, that you'd say. I think favorite goal, one of my favorite goals, believe it or not, was Origi, the fourth goal, where Trent took the quick free kick when we were 3-3 against Barcelona, and we came back
the one that. Oh my God! Yeah. Well, the Trent goal as well. The Olympic goal.
The Trent free kick, the corner kick, he took real quick.
Yeah. It wasn't an Olympic goal. It was nobody was paying attention. Nobody was paying attention except Origi.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. There's been bloody so many. It's hard to say, but that'd be definitely. We're only talking about 3.5 years ago, but that'd be right up there. You know what I mean? That basically won us the Champions League. I mean, getting past Barcelona 3-0 down with Messi in the team. Let's be real here. We had a few players out. Salah and Bobby weren't even on the pitch. You know what I mean? That was a ridiculous game. Your Swanee is in. Spawny Mark is in. How are you?
Yo, what's up, Mark? That's my co-host, Spawny Mark. He's actually watching Wolves right now because he's a Wolves fan. And
I know that. Yeah.
I know you mentioned beforehand we're just gonna have a little chat like you were at a bar in Dublin. That's exactly what our show is. For those of you people who have not seen our show here in the US, you can't just support your club. You got to know a little bit about everybody's club, and you never know who's gonna walk into the bar. And so, like me, I'm an Arsenal fan, but we are not an Arsenal show. My co-host is a Wolves fan.
It's a Premier League show, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Premier League show. It's a football show. It's about the banter. I tell people, don't bring a bunch of statistics to my show because we don't care. When Tottenham were,
I don't even bring a sheet to this show. It's all in me bloody head. This is me. This is me. Full stop. If you bumped into me in the street, I'd be talking to you for about an hour about anything. Let's be real.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And for us, we're all about the banter. We're all about what's your favorite goal?
What a goal. I know the one he's talking about, the one where he beat David James and it bounced down off the crossbar and went up through. It was one of the best
smashed it
of all time. And I do remember it.
Yeah.
But
so
yeah, we'll continue on. So obviously Arsenal for you. I remember watching a show. I think you were. I could have been maybe 2 years ago, a year ago. I'd only sort of caught you on live, and you were giving Arteta a hard time. I think at the time, you were going through a rough patch. You were. I don't know whether you know Del Boy Gunner as well. He's a Dublin guy. He's a big Arsenal fan. I said the same thing to him at the time. I think I was on his show, and I was saying, "Listen, you've got to give the manager. You've got to give him time. You can't be doing an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer trick on him and just get rid of him. You have to get rid of all that backroom staff. It's not just the manager that goes. There's probably 10, 12 entourage people go. It's a big deal when the manager leaves a club. You know, it isn't just him walking out the door. It's everybody with him that he brings with him. And it's a big gap to fill. So at the time, I had a feeling he might be right for the club. I really do. You can look back at it if you don't believe me. But it looks like he's turning the corner for Arsenal. And I mean, they've surprised me, Lolo. I knew they were decent. I knew they were, good young side, players at the right time. Jesus looks like a miracle of a signing, if you get the pun. But I mean, like at the end of the day, I mean, I don't want to be putting, knockers or mockers on it, but you're in a really good position. But we've been here before, Liverpool. You've got to be careful with this City side, They're not even playing fantastically well, really, but they can. That's the problem, I'd say. They can put 15 wins together.
Yeah. So I know back when you're talking about, and I have definitely given Mikel Arteta a hard time. However, I've never been Arteta out, and I've also never been Arteta in. To me, it's a very difficult conversation to have because I am not a football club owner. I am not a football manager. I am not in the staff. I am not a player. So do I know who's right for Arsenal? Absolutely not. And so the danger for me was I understood that we need to give the next manager time. If we need a complete overhaul, we need to give it time.
Yeah.
I was just afraid that Arteta just doesn't have the experience to show that time will prove anything. Like, why didn't we give Unai Emery time? Unai Emery has proven to do things. He's proven to take clubs places, to overachieve with clubs. So to me, it was rough seeing all the decisions that Arteta was making. And yeah, it's only been 3 years. It feels like it's been fucking forever. It feels like
3 years
it's been
today,
forever.
is it? Is that coincidence?
Yeah, 3 years today. So to me, it was what I would always tell people is Arteta's not going anywhere. Arteta is not going to be sacked. He could have, we bottled top 4. He could have ended 7th again, but he was doing things behind the scenes that we have no idea about. And the Kroenkes backed him 100%. Edu backs him 100%. They see something in him that is the future that us as fans, we don't see because we don't see the day-to-day. And I really do believe that the All or Nothing documentary happening last season, showing the heartbreak, showing all of that, it's what kicked off the season with the fans behind him. We were behind them. Even though we had a good offseason, who cares about your offseason? Who cares about your first 3 matches, your friendly matches beforehand? Really, who cares? It's about how you kick off. And a 1-0 win against Crystal Palace is nothing. But the fans were there from the very beginning. And I think it's because we all, over the offseason, we all sat down, we all watched the documentary, we all made fun of him for the stupid antics he did with the light bulb and his terrible drawings and all that. But what it did was it showed us he is the leader. He is the leader back there. He is.
Do you think it gelled? Do you think it gelled you?
It gelled the fan base. I don't know if it did anything for the players, but it definitely gelled the fan base. And then the fact that it didn't end with us winning the league. It didn't end with us getting top 4. It ended on a down note. So I think we were all like, you know what? Yeah, you can say we bottled it. Yeah, we were Spursy. But I feel like our team, we're on to something, and that the players all are fighting for Arteta. They're fighting for spots, and the process that we've been making fun of because when you say trust the process, but we don't know what the process is, it's easy to make fun of. Now we got a 8-part documentary or something like that to actually see the process and to see that this dude is going to make tough decisions. The first thing to make me actually start to fall in love with Arteta was benching Aubameyang for being late and benching him for a North London derby.
Yeah.
Benching your captain for a North London derby. And that's when I said, nobody is bigger than the crest, and that is top down.
Yeah.
That is
You've
top down.
You've got to be the manager. You've got to be the captain of the ship. You've got to make big decisions, whether they're right, whether the fan base don't like it, especially if the fan base don't like it, actually. They're the big decisions that managers, I know they're paid big money and all that type of thing, but they'll live and die on those decisions. Do you know what I mean? Because if they backfire on them, they're basically out the bloody door. So it is a risk. But I think he made 2 or 3 really big risky decisions, and they all basically worked out for him. Now, sometimes they don't, but it does help having a good squad now, to be fair. He does have a good side. They're young, they're hungry, you know.
He's had the balls to put that squad together. He's had the balls to send, to pay that shit ton of money for William Saliba and then to send him off for 3 years. Every year, not 3 years, two seasons or whatever. Everybody's screaming for him to come back. And Arteta's like, no, he's not going to play here, but he will be a starter in France. He will win Young Player of the Year. He will win trophies. He will get that feeling, and then he will walk into the squad. And that's exactly what he did. And now we have a Rolls Royce of a defender. Some people are already saying he's the best center back in the league, and we thought Gabriel was pretty damn good. So, but beyond that,
one of the best. Don't
one
say
of the best.
No.
I'm saying people are saying that. To the way he's handled Martinelli, the way he's handled Saka, the way he's handled Emil Smith-Rowe, the way he went out and got Odegaard when everybody's talking about Odegaard's not the answer. No, he's a Real Madrid reject. He saw the leadership and the captain mentality. The turnaround of Granit Xhaka.
Yeah. To be fair, I used to give him some shit last year. I mean, I
did. I made a whole video telling him to get the fuck away from the club.
Yeah. I used to I'd be afraid to get sent off every game. I mean, he got sent off a few times against Liverpool and cost him big time, you know.
Yep, absolutely.
So he's instilled discipline into the likes of a Granit Xhaka, and he's given him confidence to grow as a player, confidence in the younger lads as well. Klopp is similar as that in that way as well. He trusts a player, gives them a go and goes, go on out there and show the world what you can do, and instills confidence. I think that's a big attribute to have, my friend. That's a huge attribute. Not every manager has that. Do you know what I mean? And he's a decent player himself, I suppose. And he learned under Pep Guardiola, I suppose. No one really better, let's be real, to learn under. So he's got all the attributes there. I think Arsenal right now, as we speak on the 20th of December, Christmas is days away. I mean, basically, you're like Santa Claus sitting on the bloody steps there. You're happy. But what type of presents are you going to be opening up under the Christmas tree? I mean, is someone coming in January? I don't know about the rumours with Arsenal. I still think you might need 1 or 2. I know City probably will. You know what you need to do? You need to invest to protect. I've been saying this about Liverpool. You invest when you're at the top. Liverpool didn't do it in 1 or 2 windows, and that's what's cost them. When you're at the top, United used to do it. Chelsea used to do it. Just keep going. Keep knocking the cream. Keep going instead of bringing the bloody profile down. Just keep bringing the profile up. So what do you think they'll do in January? Stick or twist?
I think I don't know which option, stick or twist. But I would say twist. I'm not sure because stick is pretty good too, but twist maybe a little of both.
Stick, I mean he does nothing. Twist, I mean he does something. Sorry.
Yeah. So twist. I think the big struggle is actually, for knowing the way Arteta is and how much he plans and how much he schemes and stuff. They had a plan for the summer and they did it. And then they had a plan for January. Now, that plan for January was a plan with us sitting around the 4th place position.
Yeah.
So that plan, whatever that plan was, what's up, Stan? Stan's class. whatever that plan was has now kind of been tossed on its head of like, we were planning on spending 40 million, getting some guys, sending them out on loan, just, plugging some holes. Now it's like, damn, we are 5 points clear of City in first place. We are 8 or 9 points clear of Tottenham with a game in hand. Chelsea's having struggles. Liverpool's having struggles. City is everybody's kind of having struggles. And we're the only team who our struggle is one loss against Man United. Our struggle is a draw against Southampton. Like, that's been our struggles. So I think the game plan has changed tremendously of what we need to do. And once again, I'm not the manager. I'm not the director of football. I trust Edu and I trust Arteta. And I think the people screaming for, we need James Maddison, we need Gakpo, we need Tielemans, we need these guys. I think we're going to bring in some guys that you've never heard of who are going to slot into the system and not be these superstars. Not the same way we didn't go after Erling Haaland. We're not going to go after Gakpo, Memphis Depay, anybody who's going to come in. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Arteta is not looking for a 20 to 30 goal striker. He's looking to have 5 or 6 10-plus goal scorers. And because all the matches that we've won this season, look at the different goal scorers who have made that happen. Some days it's been Martinelli. Some days it's been Saka. Some days it's been Xhaka. Some days it's Odegaard. Some days it's our defenders. Like,
you need to spread the love. If you're going to win the league,
if we're going to break down teams,
you need to do the little Salt Bay all over the team there. Spread the goals around like Salt Bay. That's what you need to do. And
because when you can't break down a team and you only have one plan, you become Spain in the World Cup.
Yeah.
You have no options. They know how to deal with you. Right now, the reason teams are scared to play Arsenal right now is because we have a counterpunch to any punch you can throw. Any block you want to put up, we have a counter to that. You want to take Jesus out of the match? Now he's injured, but you want to take Jesus out of the match? You want to take our striker out of the match? That's fine. You know what? We drop him deep, and all of a sudden Martinelli and Saka are our front 2 strikers. You want to take them out? We push Xhaka higher up. You want to close down the middle of the pitch? Well, our fullbacks are flying up the pitch. Like, we have all of these. Arteta is interested in players that can play in multiple positions and do it well, and switch during a match. Where look at Ben White. Everybody's like, 50 million pounds for a Brighton center back. He's now one of the best right backs in the league. Who saw that coming?
The big question is, the World Cup was just finished, which was brilliant, as we just said, was brilliant. But you were flying coming up to that. You were flying right up to the weekend before the World Cup. Do you think the World Cup came at the wrong time for you? I mean, it's never been in the winter. It's the first time in history. I mean, you probably could have done with just tipping, because now you got to get your mojo back. And it isn't always easy, Lolo. You know what I mean? I mean, these Christmas games, Boxing Day, day after Christmas, there's a game you leave you 3 bloody days. And it is hell for leather, baby.
Yep. So the reason I think we'll be okay is the lads have been training together. Minus of, Saka, Martinelli, Saliba, some of our starters. And the biggest complaint that a lot of Arsenal fans have had about our side right now is that anytime we make subs, we drop a level. So right now, our subs have been getting a lot of game time, a lot of time together, and they've been having to pick up their own slack and they have to get better. So we go out and we win a couple games, AC Milan, Lyon, and we lost to Juventus, but I felt we played much better. It was just the finishing. So you add Martinelli, Saliba, Saka to that with a Xhaka who's had a bit more time, with all these players who've had a bit more time, who got knocked out a little bit earlier. They're going to gel more, and I actually feel like, had we just kept going and going and going and going, and there wasn't this break, it was going to be hard to maintain because all of our players are super young. The majority of our players are super young, and it can start to, you start to go over your feet a little bit because you're running and running and running and running, and you just can't catch up to and maintain that high level. This was almost a whoa, okay, calm down, guys. Let's just go back to what we were doing.
And Mark seems to think it was a bad time anyway, but I mean, with the Jesus, the injury.
Now, but listen, the Gabriel Jesus injury could have happened at any time. He's had 3 weeks. He's already had surgery. He's already recovering. So when it's all said and done, he's expected to be back February 25th. So that is exactly 2 months. So a 3-month injury turns into a 2-month injury. When, you know what? It's not like.
Plus, you have a window. You have a window in 2 weeks if you really.
Yeah, and then we have a 2-week window. So is it the worst thing in the world? I think a worse thing would have been for Gabriel Jesus to get injured after the window closed and we didn't do anything about it. Yeah. But we know this. We've known that an injury to Gabriel Jesus, an injury to Thomas Partey, multiple injuries to some of our younger guys or our center backs could be detrimental. Yeah. So now we're having to deal with it. And we're having to deal with it early enough in the season because I know people are saying, oh, halfway mark. We're not at the halfway mark. We played 14 matches. 14.
18, 19. It's 38 games. So
19 is halfway.
19 is halfway.
If at halfway, like for people saying, oh, a team that's been top at Christmas, that doesn't really count. You can't really say that this season. The team that's at top at Christmas always finishes top 4. You can't really say that because we're not at that same time in the schedule. So, but listen, as Panov Scouse says, we'll miss Jesus. Absolutely, we're going to miss Jesus. But Jesus brings so much more to the table that he's already instilled in our club. Yeah. A winning mentality, a refusal to lose, an anger that you only got 2 goals when you know you should have had 4, not just that, oh, I don't know. Mark, go check your papers. It says February 25th. So we'll not be fit by February. Yeah, not by February, but by March. So 2 months.
Do you know what? We have a similar issue with Diaz, who looks like it could be March, and Jota is a big loss for Liverpool, I think. Yeah. Even as coming off the bench, he's a great. I mean, Arsenal know all about Diogo Jota.
I hate Jota now.
Yeah,
I used to love him. I hate him now.
Too. I think we've got to invest to protect, and we know all the story about FSG, Fenway Sports Group, the American owners saying, are they going to stick or twist? Basically, are they staying? I still think, I think they're staying. I think it's an investment coup. I think they want to sell maybe 10, 15%, get a bit of investment in to spend in the windows. I think that was their idea. I don't think they ever really wanted to sell the whole thing. Now, I could be wrong. It won't happen this side of January, but it could be next summer. But I think Liverpool, if you're asking me the same question about Liverpool, we're in an unusual position, especially in the last 3 or 4 years. We've been in a decent position at Christmas, say, in the last 4 years. But this year, we have had injuries and stuff. We stuttered, we started. World Cup could have been a good time for us. Could be the other way around for us. I think it might have been about right. Now, the injuries are bad, but we've hopefully can address them in January. Whether we will or not, I don't know with this ownership. I just don't know. We might get another Arthur Mello dramatic signing, another one of these guys coming in who's a nobody. You know what I mean? So we need quality. We need quality to replace quality. It's no use having, you're missing quality. Diogo Jota, we need a midfielder. The profile, we let that age profile go down. See, your age profile is young. It's mid-20s. It's early 20s. Liverpool's is late 20s, early 30s. We missed 2 windows. We didn't take the cream, as I said earlier. When you're on top, when we won the league in 2020, we didn't go big that summer, and we should have. We brought in the likes of Taki Minamino and 1 or 2 others. We didn't go really big when you should. That's when you go big. You know what I mean? You see United doing it every year. They used to buy 1 really world-class player. So every year they keep going. And that's why they kept it going for 10, 15 years. You know what I mean? You can't just keep relying on the same players all the time. So Liverpool have their problems. I still think we'd be okay. I think we've a shout for top 4, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Well, you guys are looking at Enzo.
Newcastle in the shout as well.
Yeah, you guys are looking at Enzo Fernandez, right, from Argentina. Yeah, you tell him, Stan.
Are we though? I don't know.
I don't know.
Rumors. I mean, Rumors was a Fleetwood Mac album. That's the only thing I know about Rumors. That's about it. I mean, Rumors, links. You're going to get links. I'm going to get links.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But listen, I think the World Cup came at a great time for Liverpool because you guys did need to pump the brakes and go, guys, the season isn't over yet. You guys are still not far behind everybody. It's still doable. You have the quality and the leadership and the experience to go on a 10-game winning streak. You've done it before.
Oh yeah.
You know, where and all you got to do is beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. That's it. That's where you've been failing.
We have been doing for 3 or 4 years. You know, we were bleeding everybody, and it was too easy at times. Lolo, I was expected to win every game, no matter who it was. Every bloody game. Maybe at the Etihad, City at the best was going to be a tough game, but even at Anfield, we beat them 1-0 with Miller. We beat them 1-0 only recently. We played an absolutely brilliant game, but I still think we have it in us. I just think we as Stan is saying here, the midfield needs freshening up. I mean, we talk about Bellingham. You can talk about Declan Rice. You can talk about all these players, but that's not going to happen in January. They're summer signings. I mean, they're like red carpet signings, I call them. Summer red carpet signings. You don't usually do it in January. It's very rare. It might happen, but I don't see it happening in the summer. Or sorry, in January. It might happen in the summer.
Yeah, those big name signings don't always happen. And listen, I think Klopp was trying to, like Klopp said last year or in the summer, he said, we don't need to sign people. We've got everyone we need in-house. So he believes that you have a pipeline of young players that could do the job. I think he was banking on a better season from Salah and Jordan Henderson and Virgil van Dijk, all these more experienced players to get us through one more season where we can blood these young kids and get the Harvey Elliott's, get the who's the other kid?
There's Carvalho, young Fabio Carvalho.
And then, listen, you've got Carvalho, Luis Diaz, Darwin Nunez, Mo Salah, Firmino, all this firepower. Diogo Jota, all this firepower up front, and you still have Andy Robertson, Trent, and Virgil van Dijk next to somebody. And Alisson. Like, there's no reason you couldn't beat any team in the league on any day. But thank you so much, Pana.
It's consistency, Lolo. You know what I mean? It is confidence. I mean, if you're not playing well, you can see it in the Liverpool's faces. Even Van Dijk, who has been impeccable. I love that New York, the taxis, the yellow cabs.
I don't know what's going on here.
Beat for Dave's NFC chats and the Stoop. Give us a thumbs
they
up,
stopped.
Drivers. Let's go, baby.
They stopped as soon as you said that.
But you know what I mean? And I mean, Van Dijk you couldn't even beat him. You couldn't even get the ball off him. I mean, Alisson probably be one of the best goalkeepers in the world. You'd have to say at the moment, Brazil's number one. And right through the spine of the team, it wasn't playing well, except for Alisson.
Yep.
Van Dijk wasn't quite at it. Fabinho had lost his legs. As you said, Henderson had lost his legs. Even Salah at the start wasn't quite right. And if your spine isn't right, you ain't walking upright, baby. So I still think we have time. I still think we can get it right.
Absolutely. But talking about the spine, now they're cheering for you.
You know what it is? Probably Argentina fans down the road, is it?
Yeah, I think the parade finally got here from Argentina.
Before you go, you can open it up and show down the road, down in New York.
Yeah, let's see.
Here we go.
Let's see. There's that's where the traffic is happening down there.
Is that your bike?
No.
And what are people doing walking
That's
by?
my snowman, though.
Lunatic sitting on his step.
No, they all know me by now. They're usually like, "Where's the other guy? Where's Mark?"
Does Mark live beside you?
No, he's like two or three train stops away, so he could be here in 15 minutes if he needs to.
Yeah. No, you're a great duo. You're like Batman and Robin. I don't know who's Batman. You're more Batman, maybe. He's Robin.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Look, I'm really looking forward to it. As I say, all hell breaks loose. We've the Carabao Cup tomorrow, and Liverpool actually have a tough one away at City on Thursday night as holders. But I think Liverpool, this is my opinion now, I think Liverpool, holders of the FA Cup and the League Cup, I think we're going to take a back seat on the League Cup and the FA Cup. I think the way the squad is, I think he's got to have his eyes on getting into that top four and getting a run the Champions League. I mean, we've Madrid the holders in February. I don't think we can risk getting more players injured in the League Cup or in the FA Cup. He did it before when he came into the club, the first 2 or 3 years. He played really young lads for a while into it and usually got knocked out early. He gave it a lot of respect this year. Of course, we won both of them. But I just think the way the squad is, the way we are, I think he's going to give a lot of young lads a game Thursday night as well, even though it's at the end.
But you know what? That may be exactly what you guys need, because you're going to have to start relying on these young kids. Like, I feel bad for Klopp because the plan should have worked, which is we don't need to really reinforce and go crazy and spend tons of money because we have a lot of quality. Liverpool have a lot of quality, and you have so much really good leadership through the spine of your team, but those guys let you down. Yeah. So the young kids are like Harvey Elliott. Everybody's like, oh my God, he runs around like crazy. He's all over the place. Yeah, but he shouldn't be. Like, he's doing that because he has to. Yeah. So getting these young guys up to speed and putting a hardcore focus on the league and on the Champions League may be exactly what you guys need to get that firing. And look, Salah can kick off at any time. I think Darwin Nunez is going to kick off in the second half of the season. And I think actually Jordan Henderson will come back with a confidence boost because Southgate put a lot of confidence in Jordan Henderson and towards the end there, and he got a lot of playing time and he looked really good. He scored a World Cup goal. So maybe Jordan Henderson comes back with a little bit more of the old Jordan Henderson. And maybe he can help lead some of the younger guys. But
as I said, it is. I still think we do need a bit of freshening up, new blood in January and proper quality blood. Like, as I said, no Kabaks or Ben Davies or Mellows. I mean, you met that guy Mello. I think he's kicked the ball. Maybe he's kicked the ball in training. But I mean, he came in injured from. Now, he must have some quality. I think he's played for Brazil's senior team 22, 23 times. Yeah. Barcelona, Juventus. I mean, he must have something, but I don't know what he has, to be fair, because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, because all those big clubs that he goes to, all of a sudden he doesn't play anymore. And you're like, so that's why when we were linked with him at the same time y'all were.
You linked with him? I didn't know that.
Yeah. It was like, oh, we might get this Arthur guy. And then it was like, oh, no, he's going to Liverpool and he's injured. And it's like, oh, good. But to me,
I was perfect club.
HVFC. I was looking at it. I was looking at him and saying, like, to me, there's a reason he doesn't play everywhere he goes. And to me, that's a locker room issue. And that's exactly what Arteta's not.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. And Arteta's not putting up with any of that. So to me, it's like, no, fuck you. I don't need you. I don't care how good you are. What's up, Cedric Lopez?
Cedric Lopez in the house. Hit the like.
That's actually.
Show your love. Give us both your sub.
Yeah. And that's actually my last name. That's where Lolo comes from. So.
Yeah. Lopez.
Big up Lopez.
Does he come into your streams as well, Cedric?
No, I've never seen that. Never seen
he comes in. He comes in all the time here. Fair play to him. Arsenal is linked to everyone. I mean, it's going to be crazy season now. 2 weeks to the window. It's going to be just ridiculous. I mean,
let's talk about this, Dave. Isn't it weird how so much can change in 6 months, where between Arsenal and Tottenham, whoever got in the top 4, which ended up being Tottenham, bigger players go off the table for you. All of a sudden, Arsenal, we know we don't have a chance of getting this player, this player, this player. They're going to want to go to Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool, City. They want to be playing Champions League football. Now, all of a sudden, we're in the conversation where, oh, Liverpool's linked with somebody, City's linked with somebody, United linked, Tottenham's linked, but they want to go to Arsenal. Like, all of a sudden, we have this pull of, oh, we're doing something right. Oh, we've got a future. Oh, we've got trajectory, where we could actually have a player choose us. Like all the people who wanted Mudryk. Mudryk. I don't know how to say it. Mudryk. And he's just straight up come out and say, I want Arsenal. I want Arsenal. I want to play with Zinchenko.
Remember,
I
though,
love what they're doing.
London is a big pull.
And London is a big pull.
Huge pull. You know what I mean?
Yeah, big up. And that's why, you know, Newcastle, all of a sudden, they have the money and they have trajectory. But then that's where, oh, do I want to go to Newcastle, or do I want to be, you know, I want to be Tyneside, or I want to be
What's your thoughts, by the way? I want to get your thoughts on Newcastle, the situation at Newcastle. I mean, I think they're in a position, what you said about Arsenal, I think they're 6 months to a year ahead of themselves. They're actually running ahead of themselves. And the manager's going, wow, we're actually ahead of ourselves here. I might have to do something different than January, what I would have thought I was going to do. I mean, we're looking at possibly top 4 here, maybe better. What's going on here? If I strengthen it here, who knows what happens? You know what I mean? And sometimes that can affect your head, is what I'm trying to say to you. If you're too far ahead of the track, you know what I mean? What do you think of Newcastle?
Absolutely.
What's your synopsis?
I mean, that's part of what I was saying about this World Cup break possibly being good for Arsenal, is like, we're the youngest team in the league, so we could easily get ahead of ourselves. This might have been a good moment to go pump the brakes, chill out. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. We had a good sprint, but now we gotta come on, get your feet back under you. So for me, I always thought Eddie Howe was not the answer for Newcastle. He was a keep us in the Premier League until we can buy enough people. Like, just keep us in the Premier League. Just don't get us relegated. We'll slowly support you and slowly throw things. Because look what Eddie Howe has, and I think their mindset has changed, going, oh shit, maybe we already have our manager. Maybe we already have a really good manager for the future. So they've stopped looking at bringing in a Mourinho, pulling Conte over, you know, things like that. Or even like all these international coaches who are being let go and fired.
I thought he was a stopgap manager for them. Exactly. And as you said, they were going to bring an international name in, even a Unai Emery, someone like that, international European experience. Because when Eddie got it, I was like this, how did Eddie Howe get the job?
And then look at what he's done. Look at the players he's turned around. Yes, they bought Trippier. They bought Bruno Guimaraes. They bought some players. But who are we talking about when we talk about Newcastle? We're talking about fucking Miggy Almiron. We're talking about what's his name? Shit.
He's made the players that were there. That were nobody. I'm saying nobodies, but they were good Premier League players. But now everybody's going, what's going on here?
He turned. You know what I mean? What's the guy who he played as a striker, but he's moved him into the midfield? No, the other guy who's had a breakout season. Fuck, I'm blanking. Too much World Cup football. I'm blanking on all my.
Gummy Bears.
Bruno Gummy Bears. No. Joe Linton. Joe Ellington, however you say his name.
Joe Linton, he's playing out of his skin,
So, and that's Eddie Howe. That's Eddie Howe who's done that. St. Maximin was going to be the man, and now it's like, no, you're too injury prone. I can't rely on you. So we're going to do it like this. And that just has to be showing Newcastle like, oh, okay, we don't have to buy Ronaldo. We don't have to go out and buy even Casemiro style. Actually, we can start. We're so far ahead, and our manager is actually doing incredible things that we can start to look at some 10 to 20 million pound players and integrate them into the train that's already rolling, the machine that's already working, and Eddie Howe can help make them better. Now, Director John is right down the street, and it is freaking cold out here.
Is Director John actually directing this?
No, there would have been a lot of yellow cards already, and a lot of blah, 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 blah would have popped up the more Arsenal I talk.
Is it really cold? Yeah, it was really cold back here in Ireland and Dublin about 4 or 5 days. It's real mild now all of a sudden. Won't be a white Christmas here, baby.
It's definitely cold, but it's not as cold as it should be. Like, there should be snow on the stoop, and my daughter's so upset because when it snows, when we have our first big snow, I only shovel half, and I put the rest on this side. So I shovel it all onto one side, and I make a slide. So we slide down the stoop.
It's 3 degrees.
Yeah. So it's not too bad, but so yeah, we need our stoop slide.
I
So
love
it
that
just hasn't
backdrop.
snowed.
I really like that New York backdrop. It reminds me of so many films. So many films.
Yeah, man, I love it. Well, whenever you come over to Brooklyn, man, you'll come over, have a whenever you come to Brooklyn, man, come on over, chill out on the stoop. I put the TV out here in this area and we watch football out here. And people have started to know, like they'll walk by and they'll go, you showing the match tomorrow? You showing the match tomorrow? Are you showing El Clasico? Are you showing Bundesliga? And I'm like, I'm not a bar.
Where's the nearest bar to you? Is it far away?
Oh, it's Brooklyn. There's a bar there. There's a bar there.
It's like Dublin. It's like Dublin.
Yeah. So Dram Shop, where we were doing our show from, is maybe 3 blocks away. Like it's like a 6-minute walk.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but yeah, it's cheaper to drink from home though.
Yeah, well, yeah, and especially as I know New York probably expensive, but Dublin's bloody crazy as well. I mean,
oh yeah,
if you know about, oh yeah, it's about €6-7 a pint.
Yeah, that's about where we're at least.
Right,
at least.
It's about what would that be? $8, maybe $9?
Yeah,
something like that. Dram, baby.
Yeah.
I'm coming to New York next year, Stan. There you go. Look.
Hit us up, Stan. Hit us up. We'd love for you to watch something on the stoop, man. For sure. That'd be awesome.
We're going to go in about, we give it the hour, so we give it another about 9 minutes. But before we go, I want to ask you, where do you think, here we are, we're time stamping it, Lolo, 20th of December, days away from Christmas. Do you think, now we know Arsenal can win the league, but do you think they're going to do it?
Let me just say, you can timestamp this back to August when we did our prediction show, and everybody predicted top 4, who's going to win the league, who's going to be relegated, all that. And I was the only crazy motherfucker to say Arsenal top of the league. We will only draw 2 matches, and that's to Leeds United, because we have a lot of Leeds fans on the show, so that made them happy. But listen, if I made that prediction in August and we're sitting here in nearly January, top of the league, 5 points clear, no reason to change it now. Could we fall short? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But listen, this is also a weird season where nobody else is doing fantastic. You want to talk about the team who's actually playing the best, and it'd probably be Tottenham. As much as I hate to say it, it's even boring football.
You don't know what team's going to turn up with Tottenham, though. You know what I mean?
It's boring football, and they can lose it at any time. But see, John's got my prediction there. There we go. 36 wins, 0 losses. That was
the
my
Invincibles number 2, is it? The Invincibles mark 2.
Yeah, so it's not going to happen, but that's fine. But if you look at it, Liverpool struggled. The teams that City have dropped points to are weird. Even though they lost to Liverpool were not in a good place.
No.
But then who else did they lose? I think they lost
a lot more points than I would have thought. I wish they would have been like that in the last game of the season last year when you were 2-0 fucking down against Villa. And all we needed was a draw. And he won the game 2-2. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
But listen, we play City twice. We still have 2 matches to play against City. If we can get something from one or both of those.
You played him in the middle of 15th of February. You played him in the 15th of February at Arsenal.
Yeah.
I think if you win that game, we know what happens with draws. Sometimes draws doesn't work. You've got to lay down a marker in those games and say, listen, we want that title off you, baby.
Yeah.
And we want to take it. We don't want to just, we want that trophy. I think you got to beat them.
Yeah. Oh, and my lovely co-host down here, Spawny Mark, absolutely spot on. That's who I should have said. Newcastle, to me, are the only other team that's been terribly enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
Especially as a non-supporter, just being like, oh my God, these guys are playing fun. They're having fun, and they're playing out of their mind. I don't think Newcastle go away. So when people are like, oh, Chelsea could still make top 4, or oh, United could, Tottenham. I'm like, you can't, if Arsenal's playing this well and everyone says City's going to win the league, that's the 3 spots right there. There's only one spot.
Look at it this way. You've City and Arsenal who look like going head to head, let's say, right? You've Spurs there who, for me, are still Spurs. I mean, I've seen it before with Spurs. You could have a poor second half of a season. It's not impossible with them. I know Conte is there, and it might be a bit less likely, let's say. You've got United who will spend. Ten Hag will definitely got them harder to beat. They're still not the finished article, but they will be definitely harder to beat. You've got Newcastle who have a checkbook, an endless checkbook, and can do stuff in January if they need to. And I still think they will do something in January just to cement the position. And you've also got Liverpool who we've been there, done that. We need players, though. We need to spend. I think we need to bring in 1 or 2 in January to have any real chance of getting top 4. So I mean, you've got a ridiculous 6, 7 teams there. I mean, that's at a high level, all wanting 4 spots. It's gonna be unbelievable second half of the season, baby.
Yeah, and really, like, if you look at it, I know a lot of Arsenal fans saying like, oh, we're 5 points clear. Look, we're 8 points over Tottenham, blah, 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 blah. But if you look at, after us, it's tight. It's tight, and we're only 14 matches into the season, 14 or 15, depending. But anything can happen. I wouldn't be surprised. Look, Brighton can still put in a run, and compete with people. The Leicester City is on a crazy tear after being horrible. Yeah. We were talking about Ten Hag out at the beginning of the season. Now, all of a sudden, he's put some stuff together. You can't count out Manchester United. You can't count out Tottenham, Liverpool, Newcastle, even Chelsea. But as you said it, there's only 4 spots. And if everybody thinks it's going up between Arsenal and City, then there's only 2 spots. And to me, Newcastle is leaps and bounds better than everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to playing Newcastle. I'm looking forward to playing City. I'm not looking forward to playing Newcastle.
We beat Newcastle at Anfield with a late Carvalho goal. I think you remember it, 96th minute or something.
Yeah.
Could have easily been a draw. Could have even went either way. But we seem to have a really good record against Newcastle.
There was some offside there. If I remember, there was an offside. There was a foul sort of.
No, Wilson had a chance when it was 1-1. Wilson scored, I think, when it was 1-1. That was just off. It was a VAR decision. If it went the other way, you're not winning the game. You know, that type of way. You need luck. You need luck in football. You need luck in life. You need luck in everything.
Yeah.
If you don't have that, I'm saying that to an Arsenal fan. I'm pointing it at you. You'll need luck.
Absolutely.
You're going to need 10% luck. If you get it, you might win the league. If you don't, you probably won't. Simple.
Absolutely. I mean, if you want to look at our one loss so far this season, it all kicked off with us playing way better than Man United. We had Odegaard stole a ball off of Eriksen. We go down the pitch and score a beautiful goal, and it gets called all the way back for that foul on Eriksen.
Yeah,
a minute before the goal, and that throws us all into a tizzy, and we end up losing that match. If we score that goal right away, their heads are down, they are out, and we smell blood in the water, and we continue that on. That being said, I do think this young team needed to lose. I think every time we lose, every time we draw, every time we drop points, every time we learn, and we learn what it feels like, and we know that we're not indestructible. So to me, it's good things.
So look, it's as I say, football is like a game. It's like a game of life. I mean, a famous Shankly thing. It's more than it's more important than life, basically. But it consumes you, especially if you're doing podcasts and you're doing social media stuff like you and me. What we're doing, my phone was being people to be asking me who Klopp's signing. I don't fucking know. I think I have an inside track to Klopp. Because I interviewed John Octerberg, who is Klopp's is Alisson's coach. I know him quite well, but I don't ask him those questions. That type of thing. But good one here, Director John. When is Dave coming on the happy hour? You're live Friday, aren't you? I might pop in Friday. I might pop in for half an hour Friday night.
Open invite, man. Open invite.
Send me the link anyway. If I can pop in, I'll pop in, baby.
Yeah. Awesome.
But listen, we're an hour in. I really enjoyed. We'll have to do this again because, as I say, there's an electricity, my friend. I've actually been nice and calm and relaxed today. Usually the energy just it's exploding and I can't get it across. But I wanted you to speak a bit more. It's more of an interview. You've got the job.
Yeah.
You've got the job.
All right. I'm your new official Dave's LFC Chad's Arsenal correspondent, coming to you live from Brooklyn.
And we're live. Yeah, no, absolutely brilliant. We definitely have you on. And as I say, good luck to Arsenal. I like Arsenal. I like the way they're set up. Club, stadium's unbelievable. You know, I mean, I don't want City. We don't want to turn it into a Farmers League. We don't want to turn it into PSG, Bayern Munich winning every bleeding year. I mean, if Liverpool aren't going to win it, I don't want City. Then again, I don't want United win either. You know what I mean? Something like Arsenal, Spurs, or Newcastle. Just to breathe life into it. If they keep winning every year, it just becomes redundant. It becomes non-worrying about, I don't even want to do it anymore type of thing. But it has been absolutely brilliant. Your link will be down in the descriptions. On the Stupid Lolo. Give them your sub. Show them your love, my friends. Show them some Christmas love. Christmas is on this weekend. It's Christmas Eve. It's Christmas Day. I'm on my holidays Thursday. Kid. I'm on my holidays on Thursday till the 3rd of January.
Oh, nice.
That's the way we do it in Ireland. It's a 10-day job, baby.
There you go. Job. My kids only get 5 days off of school.
Oh, no. 2.5 weeks. My little girl finishes tomorrow, Wednesday, and I don't think she's back until the 6th, January.
My kids finish on Friday. And then they're back the Monday after New Year.
Oh, no. Monday's a bank holiday here anyway. Monday is Stephen's Day, Boxing Day, whatever you want to call it, the day after Christmas Day. And the way it falls is because it's a weekend, Christmas is on a Sunday, that automatically becomes a bank holiday. So you have to move it forward onto the Tuesday. And the way we do it in our job, I work for Toyota, it's just not work going in. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Anyway, it's been absolutely fantastic. Here, look, Dave, I'll send you. There we go. Look, Director John. Hollywood Director John is in the house, baby. Absolutely.
He knows. I forget to tell him we're doing shows sometimes. So he knows.
Yeah, listen, it's been absolutely great. We'll have to do it again. Good luck to the season for Arsenal, of course. Not when you're playing Liverpool.
Thank you very much.
You know what I mean. Have a really
We still got to go to Anfield, so we got to go to Anfield.
Well, yeah. But look, have a good Christmas yourself and Mark and all the boys, Director John, all the guys involved with On the Stoop. Absolute legends. If I could pop in Friday, I will. It's been brilliant. Man. Hit the like, hit the share, guys. As I say, down in the descriptions, give them some of your love. Show them your love. You won't regret it. You won't regret it. Lolo, down and out.
Thank you so much,
Stay safe. Talk soon, bro.
All right, peace.
Happy Crimbo.